If you please stand, we'd like to call this meeting to order. Mr. Allen, would you please lead us in prayer?
Lord, we come to you this time. We also thank you for this day. Thank you for your many blessings, Lord. Thank you for this opportunity to gather together, Lord. God, we pray, Lord, you just have your way here tonight, Lord God. You touch these board members, Lord God. God, give them wisdom, Lord God. Make decisions that are best for our county, Lord God, for our students, for our staff, and for our residents, Lord. In Christ's name we ask and pray. Amen.
Thank you. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Morgan, I'll turn it over to you for your updates, please.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Want to let you guys know about some dates coming up. We're returning from our vacation. This is our first official day of the new school year, and it's going to be fast and furious because in just a couple of weeks, to actually 2 weeks from tomorrow, we're going to welcome our new employees. That'll be on July 25th for their orientation meeting with the Brantley County School System. And then the following day, Wednesday, July 26th, will be the first day of pre-planning for our school employees, and we'll have our big opening meeting at the gym at the high school at 1 p.m. that afternoon. And then, before we know it, it'll be time for open house at our schools. So we plan on Friday, July 28th, having an open house at Brantley County Middle School and Brantley County High School. And then we'll also have our open houses at our primary and elementary schools on Monday, July 31st. And there will be more information with the details and the breakdown of which groups go when to open house on their Facebook pages. Also, want to invite our board to join us next week, next Thursday, July 20th, for a luncheon at Brantley County High School, where we're going to have all of our summer employees, our employees that have either been driving buses, delivering food, or serving, cooking up the food for our kids, or maybe working in maintenance with the custodians working at schools. Anyway, we want to honor them with a special lunch next Thursday, so we might invite you to that as well. That concludes my
While you're on your update on the school openings, is all the new classrooms going to be operational and open?
Yes, sir, they sure are, as well as the new modular building at the Hunter Primary School. So we're excited about that. They're getting ready, little check-offs with fire marshal and so forth, so that we can begin moving in.
Thank you. Is there any public participation? Hearing none, we will move on to the approval of the agenda. Is there any additions to the agenda? Hearing none, may I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes. We'll move on to the deposition of the minutes. Was there any corrections anyone noted? Hearing none, I would like to ask for a motion, please, to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes. Next will be our monthly financial reports. Did anyone have anything that stood out to them, or?
And you should have your hard copy now ready to check, so that way you can get back with us if you have any questions.
May I have a motion to approve the financial reports?
I'll make a motion to approve the financial reports.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second the motion to approve the financial report.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes. We don't have to approve the SPLOS, but I always like to give a big shout out. The local SPLOS that was collected, that means people that spent their money or done online orders that came into Brantley County for our zip codes. We got a percentage of that. It was $153,889.40. And then what was collected on car tags or car sales was $91,623.47 for a grand total of $245,512.87. That is phenomenal, and back to school school's coming up, shop as much as you can local, your boutiques for your clothes, the dollar stores, the family dollars for your school supplies, and just continue to support Bradley County and include buying your gas here. Thank you. Okay, moving along to our action items, correct?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. I would like to recommend to approve the board policies, sections BC, BI, BID, and I as presented.
You hear the superintendent's recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept these policies. BC, BI, BIB.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Just would like to thank the board for, working with us as we go through this big policy review. This is something GSBA recommends that we do every 5 to 7 years, so it was definitely time for us to review our policies, and I know that's created a lot of homework for you guys, but I think there's been a lot of good input, and I just wanna thank you for those.
Any further discussion from the board? Hearing none, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes, it passes.
I recommend to approve the FY '24 fundraisers as presented.
We hear the superintendent's recommendation. Do I have a motion to approve?
I approve the 2024 fundraiser.
May I have a second?
There's
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Yes, ma'am, just would, like to highlight that these are fundraisers presented by all 7 schools and the BOE, and that is inclusive of anything that we could think of that we might want to do as a fundraiser, and should anything new pop up, we'll bring that to you at that time.
Thank you.
Do
Any
we
further?
need to change anything from the Pepsi, from the code to Pepsi?
We marked it out, and we're gonna, in our notes that we put in, it's gonna also Pepsi. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.
I recommend to approve the FY '24 overnight field trips as presented.
We hear the superintendent's recommendation. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the overnight field trips.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second the overnight field trips for FY '24.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am, these are the field trips that we know about at this point that either our sports teams or clubs travel for and requires an overnight stay. If we have any additional ones come up during the year, we'll bring that to you for your vote at that time.
Okay. Any further discussion from the board members? Hearing none, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.
I recommend to approve the special education programs as presented, the Q Global contract of $7,275 and the Gold Book renewal of $11,900.
We hear the superintendent's recommendation. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation for the special education programs as presented.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am, as you heard our special ed director discuss during the work session, the Q Global contract will be used for assessment tools, for SPED testing. And the Gold Book is actually a renewal. We use it for developing IEPs and then progress monitoring tools.
Any questions or discussion from the board members? Hearing none, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.
I recommend to approve the purchase of 14 iPads for special education from the Apple Store in the amount of $5,816.
We hear the superintendent's recommendation. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to purchase 14 iPads for special education.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am, this particular set of iPads will be used by our school psychologists and our speech language pathologists when they're actually doing the special ed testing.
Anyone from the board members? Hearing none, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.
I recommend to approve the FY '24 handbooks as presented.
We hear the recommendation from the superintendent. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to accept the FY '24 handbooks as presented.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Just would like to thank our administrators and leadership team. They put in a lot of work, reviewing these handbooks and comparing with other school systems and consulting, on legal matters, and a lot of work goes into it. I'd like to express my thanks to them.
Thank you. Any discussion from the board members?
I still feel like we need some more disciplinary measures. Just make it more clear. I still think there's some more, maybe we can work on that for next year, but I still think there's some things that still need to be addressed.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Kathy?
No.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.
All right, I recommend to approve the FY '24 teledentistry program as presented.
Hear the superintendent's recommendation, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the FY '24 teledentistry program as presented.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion, please.
Yes, ma'am, very thankful, to the Southeast Health District for including us and offering this program to us, and for this board for supporting it. We have, a lot of children that are screened and receive a good cleaning and, referred out to a dentist that may not would have been able to address that need if we didn't have this program. These children are able to, be seen right here in our school system at Nahum Elementary School. They're bused here from the other schools, and it's a good program. Thank you.
Would you point out that they also gave us the data of actually how many Brandon County students actually use this service, so we can see how
Yes.
wide?
Yes, ma'am, you can see there that they, have actually quoted the numbers, for example, the number of cleanings, it looks like we had 106 received cleanings, we had another 100 students that, they helped them set up an appointment with a dentist and make sure that the child got there.
That was just great to see the data, that
Yes,
our
ma'am.
children are getting this service firsthand.
And those grades, they represent all cases with
Any other discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.
I recommend to approve the educational contract programs funded by Title I as presented, and those programs include Legacy of Core 5 Reading for $30,305, the AR Star from Renaissance for $28,523.30, and IXL Learning for $10,229.
We hear the superintendent's recommendation, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion for the educational contract programs funded through Title I.
Thank you, may I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. Our Title I funds, those are federal funds that we use mostly to reduce classroom sizes and add instructional support. So we mostly pay for some teachers and parapros with those funds, but we always have a certain amount set aside to be able to include some instructional programs, and these are the ones that we'll be paying using the federal funds.
Any discussion from the board? Hearing none, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.
I recommend to approve the contract programs as presented. Easy CDM for $17,875 and Swift K-12 for $5,814.94.
We hear the superintendent's recommendation, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion for the contract programs funded by the general.
Thank you, may I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion, please?
Yes, ma'am, the Easy CBM and Swift K-12, both of these are programs we've used before. The Easy CBM is for our universal screeners and our progress monitoring, and the Swift K-12 is our communication system that we use with parents when we text out, call out, we can even email out.
Any discussion or questions from the board? Hearing none, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.
I recommend to approve the bid not to exceed $4,400 from Tom Neal to purchase a turbo for bus 1604 repair.
We hear the superintendent's recommendation, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to purchase for the 1604, repair turbo.
Thank you, may I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion, please? Any questions from the board? Hearing none, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.
I recommend to approve the bid from South Georgia Coatings in the amount of $37,000 for metal roof restoration to the Hoboken Upper Elementary School.
We hear the recommendation, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion for the HCS roofing project.
May I have a second?
I'll say.
Thank you, discussion.
Yes, ma'am, this is, a solution that will stop some of the leaks that we have in that building that houses sixth grade at Hoboken Elementary School without having to replace the entire roof.
Any questions, discussion from the board? Hearing none, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.
I recommend to approve the bid from Eugene Carter in the amount of $20,314.26 for demo and reinstallation of ceiling grids for Nahunta Primary School.
We hear the superintendent's recommendation, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation for the MPS ceiling grid.
Thank you, may I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, any discussion? Board? Hearing none, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes. We need personnel.
Yes, ma'am.
May I have a motion for executive session for personnel, please?
I'll make a motion for executive session for personnel.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes. We are out of executive session at 7:57 with no action taken. Do I have a motion to come out of executive session?
I'll make a motion to come out of the executive session.
Do I have a second, please?
I'll say that.
Thank you. Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.
I'd like to ask the board to accept the following resignations. Natalie Lee, pre-K paraprofessional at HES, and Michael Tanner, school resource officer for Brantley County Schools.
You hear the superintendent's recommendations. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the resignations of Natalie Lee and Michael Tanner.
May I have a second?
I'll say.
Thank you. Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.
I'd like to ask the board to accept the following recommendations for hire. Katie Estep, first grade teacher at Waynesville Primary School. Tabitha Nolan, special ed teacher, part-time at Nahunta Elementary School. Janet Heron, special ed teacher, part-time at Nahunta Elementary School. Megan Waldron, pre-K paraprofessional at Hoboken Elementary School. Dustin Lewis, eighth grade science teacher at Brantley County Middle School. Marcy Thomas, bus driver. Jennifer Mann, bus driver. Debbie Dean, part-time bookkeeper at Brantley County Board of Education office.
You hear the superintendent's recommendations. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendations for hire.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll say.
Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.
I'd like to ask the board to, accept the following recommendations for athletic addendums. Mallory Smith, Brantley County Middle School girls soccer assistant. Donna Collins, Brantley County Middle School boys soccer assistants. Evan Minter, Brantley County Middle School football assistant, and Brantley County High School varsity boys soccer assistant. Caitlin Giddens, Brantley County High School varsity girls basketball assistant.
We hear the superintendent's recommendation. Do I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation on the agendas.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll say.
Thank you. Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes. Anything else? Anything from the board members? May I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll say.
Thank you. Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Teresa votes yes.